Okay, welcome back to another Talanoa. This is Talanoa number 3, I think, between
Number
the two of
3.
us. Malo momen mai ki po lava ko ni ko awe ni ko Sione Tu'itahi mo ku tangata iki ko Sione Tu'itahi. Te ma whakahoko te ma ki I series Talanoa whikataluini. Pero ia ko mawe I heni ki whitu ko Manuka Reserve. Peko whitu ino nā mau whahau ki ai mau ke iki. Peo no whawhi mai ki heni a Sione peo ki whahau ki ko hana uia ki whitu ko ni.
Ko Manuka Reserve Beach.
Ka he rea whakatoa koe ki whanga.
Ki whanga ini ko
Whanga ko Manuka.
Manuka. Pea ko tau api tu he hala. Pea ki I paake koe.
Kei te whamau e ke reveal a whitu o tuai o api.
Okay.
But, ko hau ingo ke whahawa ki whanga koe ni.
Ko whahau koe ke whanga koe ni koe hui whakawho ofa. O ko wā awhi ai mo e whonua mo e ātakai. Whatu mo I lere e a mo e whawawa ki he mamata. Pau te a koe mea lahi te seka mea mo ui. Ka koe hinga lahi koe hono ua. Une whakamanatu mai kia te au. Ai ki motu koe nau tūpo hake ai ka wai haa ano. Pea mo ilo nā ku mau ai. O ne awe au me he tūpo hake ki motu. Ke mau ai tāpo ki oro ngāu he tūnga whakamamani lahi. Ke toko ni ki he mo I rei ai ātakai mo e paranite mo e mo e whainga tangata. He koe whainga tālahi tau whepak mo mamani he taimini. If you want me to summarize that in English,
go for it.
You ask, why do I love coming to this beach? As you said, I used to bring you as children here when we came to New Zealand some 32 years ago. Two major reasons. One is it's beautiful. You're close to nature. It's a healthy spot, Manuka Beach Reserve. And the second reason is it reminds me of my little island I grew up in, Ha'ano. And also the knowledge I gained from there, the wisdom that has enabled me to go all the way to the international level and contribute to the well-being of the planet and well-being of humanity. So the memories, the knowledge, and the wisdom, and the beauty of nature. Not as beautiful as Ha'ano, but it's nearby, to us at home. So I frequent this beach almost every other week.
So Ha'ano is the island where you grew up in, and that's where you had your closest relationship with your grandfather.
Ko ia.
So Sione
Tu'itahi. Nā tūpo hake, kei mo ui pia Sione, koe tangata nai ngoue, pia tautai, pia ne take, ki koro, pia toko ni hinga la, ki whakalaka ai nofo, o au pe ki toko ni he motu, mo yunga he mea pehe. Yes, so my grandfather and his influence on me when I grew up, he was still alive. He was a community leader, a farmer, a fisherman. In his role as community leader, he looked after many projects, shipping, farming, the finance of the community. So land heaps from him. And I remember him still vividly in my mind. And especially his way of farming and his way of fishing and his overall worldview and values and practice about life in Ha'ano in the 50s and 60s when I was still there. I remember in conversation Talanoa 1, we talk about breakfast in Ha'ano when I grew up. So I thought that perhaps that's one area we can talk about, the food system in Ha'ano, where they get their food, sea, land, how did they cook it, how did they grow to start with. Ai koe mea ko whie tānoa ke kukui koe mo I whakapoto koe nare mao. Pea nā ku a koe mea lahi me hene whaunga ngowe, whaunga tautai, me nau no whakapoto koe he ki ātakai ki motsisi. Toko nia kau ki alo whae ngāu in Uslan, pia whae ngāi tunga whakapure anga. Koe mea ia.
So, ko hea ngahi mea nane whaatoa I ningo e.
Oh, koe uwhi, koe hopa, koe kape, koe talo, manioke. Pea I kai koe pea koe pini. E koe pini, o ku tō ma upi e nau tolu, o ku ne whakalere e kere kere.
Yeah.
So it's indigenous science. He koe pini, une o mai e whahinga ere meniti koe nai tolo kena. Nitrogen.
Nai tolo kena.
Ia.
Koe nitrogen ia.
Ia. Koe liriu e, nai tolo
Koe
kena.
o liriu pea koe.
Ikai, liriu ko singaki.
Ah.
Koe oxygen, koe osikena.
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 Mā rea.
O kia ho anti o kui ko osikena ko
Oh, ia?
kia. Toko o si ia o antipoline.
Nā sai ni mana wawe nai.
Kai nei sai bea ka koe whakahingoa.
Yeah.
Ka teu, koe whaitaranoa ka aho. E whonga utau whakahingoa e kakai.
Ki mua ke tā hoko atu.
Koe.
So, okay, so Sione, you were just explaining how, you know, your grandfather planted multiple different crops and produces in Ha'ano.
Yeah.
And one of them were beans, which provided nitrogen to enrich the soil. And the Tongan version of nitrogen, the Tongan translation of nitrogen, or transliteration is
Nai tolo kena.
naitolokena. So, ia taimkana ka tupu hake I Ha'ano na ka whanonga ki ho kui nane ngawe ke rego ia, naitolokena.
E kai. Toki hao ki tonga tapu he kuako.
Yeah,
O toki whanonga ko koe sainisi.
yeah.
Toki whanonga honhang he kau whaako liriu e whuirea ko ia.
Yeah.
Kana o si ilo be he kuia kuia. O kia iwi whakamo ui he pini.
Okay.
O hinga ne tō, ko hinga koe tō e pini.
Yeah.
Ke ne whakafo ma upe iwi kere kere. Si e kere kere.
Yeah.
Pau ke ngau ha whaunga. Ke aonga ho iwi nau tō tui fio. Intercropping, ko nui whakapārangia.
Yeah.
Tō whakataho pā moe kumara, moe taro, moe kape, pia tō iwi moe pini he taim tō tonu. Ko ne tāki koe ngahi ngō e koe nau I tō iwi kere kere. Hange he e pini o mai nai tolo kena.
Naitolokena.
Whakarere e kere kere. Pa koe pē taimi o kulama ke ui koe whakawāwa. Pia koe follow I he Reo Britania.
Follow.
Follow. Koe tukange e kon kere kere ke wāo.
Oh,
Ke
okay.
whoki ki hono urunganga maheni. Back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
its natural, condition.
Yeah.
Tā ka koe ki kere kere whoko o Ha'ano hange nau tāna atu. Koe aptu kau e ka pē whā. Ka e ka wālua tonga tapu ia. Me mea pihe. Pea koe whonga ngau ia ko ka asiwa. Pea ka pāte tatarano e te mau ne. O kone hange ko utu e tāu e ne uwhi pea koe tā e hopa. O whai whakapoto pe. Koe utu koe uwhi, tō pe uwhi pe koe e kai. Mo fie mau ke aho pe koe nka hoko mai. Aho ni mo bongbong. Toi ngā ia tuku pe kere kere ke mā lulu pe ai. Tolonga nge ai. Ho o utu koe awa tuku o where oko. Koe ngai paku paku e uwhi ai. Pea mea. So koe crop rotation, intercropping, that's the method. You know, the mix of certain crops that can restore fertility of the land in a very organic, natural way.
Yeah.
Times of harvesting, you just take what you need, not with greed. You take what is for today and tomorrow and leave the rest of your crops on the land. They last long rather than harvesting them and put in the food storage.
Yeah.
They dry up very quickly. You know, they won't last. So those are simple but actually profound scientific, ways of understanding nature and helping to make just take what is enough, moderation, and leave the rest. So you do not waste, unlike what we are witnessing in Tonga here in Aotearoa and across the world.
So these techniques would have been learned from someone. Nā ne ako e ngahi technique ni mei.
Ia.
Mea hai.
Two ways, traditional knowledge handed down from his parents, grandfathers, ancestors. The second major way is actually to experiment on the spot. Yeah? What types of crops will be best for this type of soil?
Koia.
What time of the year? You learn new things,
Yeah.
As you go along.
Don't mind me, I just didn't want to get using the picture so I'm gonna
That's all right.
All right.
Go ahead.
You're
Go
right.
ahead. Yeah. So, intercropping use legume plants to fertilize in a natural way the soil,
Yeah.
and just take what you need,
Yeah.
because as one wise man says, there's enough in the world for every person's needs,
Mm-hmm.
but not for everyone's greed.
Yeah.
My
Was
grandfather,
was it you, the wise person who?
my grandfather said that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there are other wise people who have said that. And the person I was thinking of in mind is not just my grandfather, but it's one of Mahatma Gandhi's famous sayings.
Oh, that phrase, that statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Iyo, koe lau ia Gandhi.
Yeah. Okay.
Ka o pe mea whakatatau ki ho o whie mau, ka ua whakatatau ki ho o hori o ki kai ke whangatangata. Whakapoto-poto.
So, nā ke osi tala mai he tala noa, how te whikaua? Whikaua ki mo e... Oh, kai, whikaulua ki.
Koe.
Whikaua ki mo e kai pongpongi i ha ano. Koe mo mea kai nei hau pea me he ātakai.
Iyo.
Ka koe, ta e ha whare koloa i ha ato ki taimkana ke tūhake i he ni ma ngō whautupu, bika ono ngō whautupu.
Na I kai ke lahi ai whare koroa.
Oh, but there was, so there
Iyo.
were shops in
Na
Tahiti at the time you were growing
na
up.
I ai. Koe ku onga mātua,
Yeah.
na ia hana ki whare koroa.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Ia, pena e kamata whare koroa kaya I he kumanatu I he nimango whulutupu. Tahima nimango whulutupu. Koe taimi ko ia, koe taha mau anga paanga koe a kakai, koe ngauhi niu
Yeah.
o ui koe ngahi mataka.
Ngahi mataka.
O fua niu whakamoa pe tao. Pea nai awe mau pe niu koe a haano o fua ki pangai.
Right.
Iri fuka koe koromua ia koe wahai hapai, vai pono hapai.
Yeah.
Ka ai he tahima nimango whulutupu, I he tahima nima whaa ke he nima. Nei hange he pure ngā whakapapau I ke whotu e ki whare mataka I Pukotala, mai kawai hāno. Pea na e koe tangata eki, aho o grandpa. Ko ia na e ne mao e talangau ko ia.
Okay.
Pea ko ia na ne whai e fua niu. Pea na e mo ui ai e mo ui whakai, maonga mo ui whakai paanga be whakai koro koe e ki motu. E lahi ngai whakalakalaka lahi nai tupu me ai.
Okay.
Pea I he seni tiko na mao he tangata eki, me he ne ngāwe. Na toko nia ke whaake ne ngōwe, toko nia ke whaake ne ngāhi whanki I waka. Pea mō whotu e ngāhi pā ika I tahi.
Yeah.
Pea I kai koe pē ka ne tokanga I e ngāhi ngāwe ke mo uile rei pea tu maaria nge ki koro. Ki koro. Pea mo e mō tūpe. He koe, whetuku koe mataka ki pangai, whema e waka. Ka koe ne tamai, e tangata eki a tawaha. Koe ne tamai ka tanga paha so siwa. Na kauia he kau tangata eiki, mo kau whina eiki o nao ngai hoa. Na nau ngā maalo he whakatau ai waka o onga motu. Na onga waka e ua koe hapai veu me manu kai niu. Na tokon ke whetuku e mataka. Tokon ke whetuku mautolu whanau ako ki Tonga. Pea no he pure a ngā o whetuku le koroa mo e kakai ngā ue he otomotu, ma oe paanga e ki motu. Koe taimko na mai fua niu ki Pukotala, nei ongo e wite kai ngā matoa te fui mawhasia goia. He kupau ke whetuku ki tahi whakaheke waka, whakahifui loto tahi o awe ki uta.
It's hard work.
Ngā rai whauria.
So yes, there was a shop.
Yes, there was a
some
shop,
shops.
e tangata eiki. Kai ke umana tu
Yeah,
iau.
sorry, I'm trying to summarize it in English.
Oh, okay.
So there were shops in Ha'ano, and your parents were the owners of one of those shops.
Yeah, the one in Pukotala was the only one at the time.
Right.
There were, as I recall, there were about 3 at the time in Ha'ano.
In Ha'ano, yeah.
One was in Ha'ano, is a relative of ours.
Yeah.
You know, we are originally from Ha'ano village. There was also a second one there of your grandparents. They set it up there as well after establishing the first wharekoroa in Pukotala. In Whakakakai, there was I recall there were about 2 shops.
Yeah.
Okay. So those shops mainly just to meet the basic necessities. Koe kalasini, kerosene for lighting, lamps and things like that. To some degree textiles, tupenu. Our family shop had that.
Right.
Cabin bread, mapaku,
Yeah.
some lollies, the jelly beans. When I see jelly beans here, I remember my childhood.
But no ice cream here.
No ice cream
Taka
yet.
ice cream ki kolawai.
Toki kamare korowai bea. Ta koe o pehea o kuvela, ta koe momoko, koe aisi koe mea. Ka koe mea. Ka koe mea taha e tatano koe ki tahi. Ke whanongo he uroa.
Iko.
Koe uroa, koe whahinga tautai.
Oh, okay.
O kou saia he uroa na ku sio ai. Koe te sio koe ke he lahi ai kāna e mau. Koe la langa e fu au, tu e fu mai lahi au pito. Hau e kakai kou poto he tautai.
Yeah.
O toho e au i he whanga koe o koro.
Yeah.
Pe toki fusi mai ki uta. Pe hake mai i ka hundreds. Pe wahere vai ke he koro. E koe ki fo i ngā ue koe ia, o ko te sio ai ke whakawhalala koe a kakai he ātakai ke nau mo ui.
Yeah.
Pe koe uroa, o kwhai tu o taha pe tu o he tau. No moa.
Oh, okay.
Ko he ngā nā ose i ka, pe lahe mau i tahi. So, pe koe mea koe taha koe tā koe atu i ha ano.
Yeah.
Koe tau tai e taha te utoki tara noa ki ai. Ka koe uroa, ngā au e taha koe toa pe. Koe kauwhina eki, nau lalanga e au. Koe au koe whahinga, koe whahinga, koe au e koe pa koe low new, tā me low new lalanga. Ke tau, hangi ha a, ke hao ke ika. Le te mō ngā he low new, yuri whia i kai ke te lere ki tu.
Koe ia. Nau lere me he au.
Kei ki nāra tō e hu he au hoki tō. Yuri whia nau tōro ai. Ma te hok nau tātou fusi au takatakai hake. Loto te hake me ki uta. O fusi mai ai au ai. Pea koe oku, koe taha koe tō. Ko mau tōro koe nei iki. Koe mau mea koe nei whai koe. Toho e low new. Awe he api koe kauwhine eiki. Ke nau whia low new. Pea koe tamaiki lalahi ake. Ka uhonga frutupu. Nau kaka tāhi whia low new. Kakai lalahi. Kau tangata eiki. Ko hangi ko masoe. Simo te masoe. E ko adopted father. Kau ia mohono toko lahi. Koe master fisherman koe. Koe tangata eiki tautai o koro. Pea toi eiki waka foki. Toi nevike. Ko hafoka. Koe toko ua lahi o ko simo te. Ko hafoka na ne whai e tōtōni ngō toa bēk he me a kau ki tahi. Hei ka no anga koe uloa. So, nā wako me ai bahanga whao e ki fo i fo ngā whekumi koe tautai. Ka koe tala, u ngā ki New Zealand, ka koe tala noia taha ke a. Ka koe ku manatu e koe ang koe mo ui whakaloku fua e kakai. Nau whakawhalala ki uta, whakawhalala ki tahi. Ka nau tauhire rei a takai, whakapoto, ke nau mo ui.
So, just to try capture a bit of that in English, the nature of the relationship of the people in Ha'ano with food is that it was one with the land and then one with the ocean. And you were describing a little bit of what a fishing method that occurred in the ocean where everybody was involved in the process of this fishing method, from constructing the, I guess you could call it the net or the au.
Yeah, weaving the net with the fresh green coconut leaves.
Yep, and so the younger generation, the under 10s would go and fetch the coconut leaves or cut it down and...
Yeah, under 10, we take the leaves that are cut down by the teenagers from up high in the coconut tree.
Right, so
we can't climb yet. Some of us know, but I did not climb.
So, and then you would take it to the mothers to weave.
Mothers and grandmothers, they weave the net.
They would weave it, and then the adult men would take, and if you were...
Follow the master fisherman.
Who was your uncle Simote, Masoe, and his older brother Hafoka.
Hafoka.
Right.
Hafoka was the master fisherman and navigator.
So the method was to drag the and I've seen actually, I mean, there are other cultures who practice this. I mean, I think Samoa, Kiribati, a lot of the, probably, if not all the islands of the Pacific have a similar method. So you see these images of like them dragging the woven coconut leaves out or the net out across the ocean
Yeah.
in a large sort of semicircle.
Oh yeah.
And then
That's it.
I guess
Collective community fishing.
the master fisherman must direct the whole operation.
Oh yes.
And then
yeah.
when he tells the pool or whatever, then
Yeah.
we bring it in, and then
Yeah.
you see so many fish.
Yeah, exactly.
So many fish. And then those fish must obviously get distributed to all the people in the village.
Yeah. It was a bounty to witness that.
Yeah.
Joyous occasion because you eat fish,
Yeah.
but you also see how it is shared in equal or equitable portions.
Right.
You know, a portion for the chief of the island,
Yeah.
portion for the minister of the church,
Yeah.
portion for the elders,
Yeah.
and each family will have a pile of fish.
Right.
Yeah, and it is also celebrated. And then, you know, the fishermen will withdraw to their fishing house,
Right.
called faresiu.
Yeah.
That's where they have their conversation before they come out and start the process of uloa.
Yeah.
And also that's where they retreat to and reflect what was the practice like, what is the new learning,
Yeah.
add to the old learning.
Yeah.
So because there will be another uloa in the next season. So living with Mother Nature in a way that is sustainable, everyone work together to, you know, build the food system, distribute equally, yeah, and all of that.
And part of the reciprocity, the sustainability that you were talking about was the frequency of that fishing method, which was maybe once or twice a year.
Once or twice at the most
most.
a year.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
and that's the idea. And if they see that there is a shortage of certain fish,
Yeah.
they will apply a tapu.
Hey,
Yes,
like a rahui.
like a rahui.
Ko hana ui e rea whakatonga.
Tapu.
Oh, tapu be.
Yeah.
Oh, true. But o whewhe hono apply ki he atakai.
Ka pau ki ahe, they know there are spots where fish breed
Right.
at certain time of the year.
Yeah.
And then I remember that they use coconut leaves to tie around coconuts on the beach. So when you see that, there's a sign of
Yeah,
tapu.
tapu, yeah.
Yeah. And then you ask
Interesting.
around.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, within 5 minutes, you hear from the grandchildren of the master navigator
Yeah.
that that's a tapu. Don't go there. What is the tapu? Well, keep away from the eggs of the turtles. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or keep away from the sea because something dangerous is there or something like that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. They know what they were doing.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that Mother Nature is still there for them. You know, not only for them, but for their grandchildren. And that's what inspires me, and that's what, as I said earlier, to learn more about humanity and the environment and through school and now my work.
So, with what you've been describing, the word that comes to mind that to me that kind of captures the relationship of, you know, people with the land and the ocean is a symbiotic kind of relationship where one looks after the other and then the other looks after the other in return. Gumaha iloki rea whakatonga is symbiotic because symbiosis ruhanui.
O kuna mo ui fe whakakakato aki, fe toko ni aki, fe whalala aki. Kono whakarea Whakabritania, that relationship between humanity and the environment, you know, humanity and the environment are inextricably one.
Right.
Interdependent, collaborative, symbiotic,
Yeah.
harmonious and dynamic. And so if you strike that balance by living within the sustainability boundary of Mother Nature, you can do all sorts of things. But if you are greedy and if you have, you know, economic growth as your goal and not a balanced growth of physical or economic well-being, environmental well-being, mental, physical, you know, spiritual well-being, then that's the recipe for disaster and chaos, and that's what we are experiencing in the world today. So there are gems from that small island
Yeah.
similar to many islands in Tonga and many other parts of indigenous communities in the world,
Mm.
to contribute to the biggest global challenge that we are facing.
So I think it'd be easy to sort of romanticize the past and have this desire to go back to how we were living, but you know, in this modern day, there are global forces to which we can't control that just, you know, occur without us being able to contribute to its. Like, you know, I asked the question of how many shops were there at the time that you were growing up. I'm sure we went back to Ha'ano now, Ha'ano Island, there's probably double the amount of shops maybe. If not in Ha'ano Island, then certainly in Tongatapu there's quadruple the amount of shops
Oh.
plus compared to when you were around in the 50s and 60s and when you eventually moved to Tongatapu. So then the point is that there are these external forces that, you know, impose themselves, like you said in our Talanoa with Bo at lunch, that like the impact of lamb on our diet and our health. So then my question is, this idea of a symbiotic relationship, what does that look like in a modern day setting for us who have moved overseas and we are imposed, you know, not imposed, but you know, we're faced with these forces also, like there's materialism, there's consumerism, there's the food choices isn't always organic or natural that we might want or might be influenced to make a choice on. What is that?
Yeah. And so let us take a step back and understand what we are facing.
Yeah.
Life on this plane of existence, life in this world is built on our relationship with Mother Nature. Mother Nature supplies us.
Right.
Yeah. Without Mother Nature, without the environment, we
Yep.
cannot exist.
Right.
Mother Nature can exist without us.
Right.
Yeah. Understand that.
Yeah.
It means also that means everything we do under the sun should be within the capacity of Mother Nature to sustain itself and sustain us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you borrow from the future of your grandchildren, which is what is already happening in the world. So other ways of understanding the world came about, you know, like focusing on becoming rich and creating material wealth, which is wonderful, and creating new ways of dealing with the challenges like health. But that should all be done in balance with the well-being of Mother Nature. We lost that understanding in the Western world, you know, in general, and so we live a life of consumerism, of a kind of wasteful lifestyle. You know, if you look at the food industry, how much left over, how much food is wasted. If you look at the textile industry, how much clothing are being thrown away or exported to other countries, and they become rubbish and pollution to the environment. Yeah, and all of that. And so what shall we do now? What I'm saying is, we don't go back to where I was as a child, but we learn from the wisdom of that era, if we call it that, and draw from the best of both worlds. Yeah, and the values of understanding Mother Nature, it's a life of interdependence between humanity and Mother Nature. We need to bring that back to today so we can stop certain industries that are polluting the environment and seek, say, the energy industry. You know, the oil industry is one of the highest polluters, yeah, oil and all of that. No, we can use solar energy, wind energy, water, you know, energy and all of that. And there's great advancement in that. So that can be done at various levels. The individual, you know, consider lessening the wasting of things that you possess. 2, consider realigning your values so that you live within the boundary of safety boundary of Mother Nature. Yeah. At a higher level, the community, we can work together to clean the environment and adapt, you know, with the way we live and the way we look after our community. Government level, at both national and international, set laws that will make sure that we live as human beings, but also Mother Nature can also not only survive, more importantly to flourish, and we can flourish together. And you see that already at the international level. The United Nations is leading the charge with its plan to restore the environment, manage the economy, because the current economy focuses on growth, grow, make more money, but at the expense of our environment, which is now coming back to haunt us.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope that helps you to understand. Everyone is a societal challenge that we need to work together. The individual, the community, the institutions, at both national and international level. And my work is actually at two levels. It's the international level and the national level. But we try to contribute to the well-being of families and communities. Ai koe mea koe whonua. Koe whonua, koe nofo whe whalara aki, mo whe whakakakato aki. Ai kakai, mo nau a takai. Ko hinga e whonua, koe winga beke kere pe moe me. Pa koe seke mahu inga koe whai whakaukau koe ia. O taui ai whonua, ai taui e nofo anga koe o e ki i vare i he manawa e ne whae, a koe whonua. Paka whanau i mai tautolo he mama koe ni, o tautolo mai o nofo i he whonua o e a takai. Koe ni, koe whonua e ni. Paka temo kou tau mālolo ai, pa koe tau mate. Pa tau o tau nofo pe he loto whonua, u tau ia koe whonua loto. Paka kai aloha tau lau maari, ki he mama ka hau, koe whonua i he mama ka hau. So, he fo i whakatata koe ia, te ke lawa sia ke he mahu inga koe o e whonua, ki he ilo mo e poto o e kakai tonga. Koe ko tau tolu pe, o pehe kakai Māori, ha moa, niue, ke te ke aru ki Awhirika, mahina pēna katoa mea tatawa. Lele ta wholau koe ki India, ke he konfanis koe, nā mau tala noa lahi, ki he mea koe ni, ki he whonua, ki he nofo whetoko ni aki, wheofo whani mo whe whakakato aki, a kakai mo nau a takai. Kai mini u tau whawharana tato ki he teknolosia, ngā loe tau tole a takai. Tau lomi be mo ne. Kau pau ke o mai a takai. Kau kai mea maho inga e ta. Ku pau ke tau whai tau ngā he whonga totonu, whai he whonga ofa, whai he whonga whetoko ni aki. Koe ko ngā whakalau maari e ia o e whonua. Ofa he whonua, ofa he kakai. So ke ofa, o tuulo toloto e he mo ui ko e tonga. Ka pa koe ni, ofa ko o mātua ke alo wakai nao ma ki mea toko ni lerei. A ko ia ke te whanau, ke nau tau he kau wai.
Yeah, I think this. So again, you're talking about this relationship between humans and the environment, and this concept of whanua, which exists from the birthplace of a child, the womb of the mother, to the end of their life, to moving on to the next role. This concept of whanua still exists.
The placenta is whanua.
Yeah.
So central is the concept, of whanua in our culture, the way we understand life, to the degree that we call the placenta whanua. When you are born to this physical plane, we name it also whanua. When you die, you go back to another whanua. Your whanua inside the whanua. Whanua loto. Loto means inside. Whanua loto. And then the hereafter, life after death, that's the new whanua. Whanua for all. I just realized that that's your name too, but yeah.
It's the middle name for the fall.
Yeah. Ka koe so koe me a ia. Koe mahu inga koe o e nofo waafi mo e whanua whetoko ni aki. Pea o whapeu toko ana ke tāri ho whihui ko ane nai. Ko harewa e tau me ai whai.
Yeah.
Koe mea koe tā, we pick the best of both worlds. Or, to expand it, we pick the best from all parts of the world. The indigenous knowledge, Western science knowledge, Eastern knowledge, Western knowledge,
Yeah.
knowledge from the South, knowledge from the North, because they are all knowledge systems with great contributions to make. When you look into history, that's a fact. Yeah? All civilizations contribute to the well-being of humanity. It's just that we are a bit biased about our own knowledge.
So if, we've gone from reflecting on life in Ha'ano in the 50s and 60s and the nature of the relationship with the environment, and to reflecting on what does that look like today in this modern setting, and thinking about what principles do we apply from what was experienced during the time of your grandfather, and how to continue to maintain this symbiotic kind of relationship, thinking about not taking more than you need, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is my sort of take, speculation on this. If Siwa, your grandfather, was alive today, what I think he would be doing, he would have a house full of fruit trees, vegetable garden, like things, and he would basically be living off his own land. He would go fishing maybe once a week or 2 times a week, and being in New Zealand, pig hunting is a common thing, so he would probably go pig hunting as well. And I feel like that would be the modern day Siwa. It's a funny sort of reimagining of what it would look like.
If you learn some of the knowledge that he accumulated through his own life experience, we might see his grandchildren and great-grandchildren becoming farmers in New Zealand.
Right.
They can become businessmen. Not unique to Siwa's grandchildren, but you look across the Tongan community in New Zealand, you can actually observe and realize that those who are successful in New Zealand, quite a few of them are the 3rd, 4th generations of those who have learned what life should be, and they become wise and prudent and set their goals, the right goals, and persevere until they win.
Yeah, I mean, when you said farmers, alarm bells started ringing in my head, because I was like, I don't know, because if you're talking about symbiotic relationship and maintaining this relationship with Mother Nature, a lot of the farming methods are questionable whether they're actually good for the environment or not. So maybe the method of farming might look different to the type of farming you typically see.
That's my point. That's my point. You pick the learning from the context of hapai, what is useful, and preserve that and continue to apply that.
Right.
And you pick the best from here. So you might have noticed that I mentioned organic farming, intercropping, and enriching the soil with planting certain plants that can enrich the soil. Those are organic practices, indigenous ways of doing things. If you practice that here in New Zealand, not only you can achieve your goals, but also you will contribute to the well-being of the environment. There is an increasing demand for organic products, from kumara to fruits and all of that. And if you follow your great-grandfather's lessons, you might be a great organic farmer.
Yep, we'll see. That's yet to be, the thumb isn't quite green at the moment, so tari beke so ke mahina ka hau ka tau ka hau be kamata ke ki mata anyway, that's a good way to bring our talanoa to a close, or was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
Maha koe ko ngarahi e talanoa ki Ha'ano mono takai.